afternoon, everyone. If I could just ask you to mute your microphones so we don't get lots of feedback in here, that would be fantastic. Welcome to OU Student Footprints. What can you do about climate change? I'm Lou Robinson, the current VP Engagement.
And hi, everyone. Welcome to the OU Students Footprint, What Can You Do About Climate Change session for conference 2024. Nicola Connolly, and I am the current faculty rep for Wellbeing Education and Language Studies. And yeah, we just have to go through the code of conduct. So it's just about being mindful, respectful of everybody, just so that everyone, it's a safe and a comfortable environment for everyone to be in, and just respectful of all attendees and your fellow hosts.
Fabulous. So just so you know what to expect over the next 45 minutes, you're going to get a short introduction to our sustainability work here at the Students' Association. We've done a mini version of our popular How Bad Are Bananas game. I know we've got some regular players in the audience, but if you've not played it before, all will be explained, so don't worry. We'll be following it up with a discussion about carbon footprints, how you can find out yours, and what you can learn from it. And we've got the answers to the bananas game following that, so do keep a note of your choices. And number 5, finally, we'll wrap up and tell you lots of different ways that you can stay involved with our sustainability work here at USE.
Just to give you an overview of the introduction to the Environmental and Sustainability Working Group, so who we are. So we're student leadership team members, student volunteers and association staff who meet monthly to discuss all things sustainability. We do have an action plan, so we've got impact, engagement, policy and the university. So we work on all those areas around sustainability. Key wins is sustainability is now a core aspect of the association's strategy. Successful panel events with OU academics. We've done quite a few of those at Freshers, Student Voice, and fantastic result in the Student Union and Student Representation categories in the People and Planet University League. And you can find out more about our work on the association website, Environmental and Sustainability at oustudents.com. And you can join the Environmental and Sustainability Society. I am now going to pass over to our chair of the committee for the OU Environmental and Sustainability Society, just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we've been up to.
Thank you, Nicola. So some of you might know that the society was launched in 2022 at, the Autumn Freshers in October. Nicola was involved, and a few people who were here were also in the original committee, but the original chair and a few of the other committee members unfortunately had to drop out for various personal reasons. So back in April, Nicola, who has been acting chair for a while, organised an extraordinary general meeting, which is basically to elect a new committee, which is when I was elected chair. So we're hoping to really revive the society, start doing more events, and hopefully have some more interaction over on various social media. One of the issues with the previous committee having not really done a proper handover is that we don't have sort of admin control over the Facebook group and things like that. So we've decided to set up a new Facebook group. I'm going to put the link in the chat, so you can join there. And if you are in the existing Facebook group, we will be posting the link to the new group there. So don't worry if you don't get the link. And one other thing, if anyone is in FBL, Faculty of Business and Law, the deputy chair of the society, Almina, she set up a sustainability committee for FBL. So if you email me or the society email address, which I'll also put in the chat, I can put you in touch with Armina for the FBL committee, which is a faculty-specific sustainability committee. And I think that's all.
Thanks, Layla. And you can find out more and join on the association's website, but Layla will be putting in the new link for Facebook, the Facebook group, and also in the chat, and also, for the FBL one as well.
And it's time to go bananas. So, introduction to our How Bad Are Bananas game. The way this works is you're going to be asked to compare the carbon footprint of 2 items. You're going to know what they are. We're going to give you some more information about them. And importantly, you don't need to be a climate scientist. In fact, me and Nicola, we played this game with climate scientists and they weren't actually that good at it. So fear not, your level of expertise doesn't really matter here. It's just a bit of fun. And it just helps you explore carbon footprint. When we talk about carbon footprint in this game, we're considering the CO2 equivalent, or the CO2e, as you'll see it written, which converts all greenhouse emissions to their equivalent weight in CO2. No cheating, though. It's not in the spirit of the game. But all the answers and all the questions we're going to be asking, they're based on an offline game that me and Nicola are trained in called How Bad Are Bananas? And you may see it elsewhere in other settings. It's quite a popular game and it's all out there now. But it's also based on a book by Mike Berners-Lee. You may know that name. His brother is quite famous for the internet. But he is also, in his own right, a legend and has written this book called How Bad Are Bananas? If you use your local library, you might want to check Borrow Box because this book is often available to borrow for free. But it's often on offer on Kindle as well. So lots of choices. Do check it out if you enjoy the game today. And I'm going to hand over to Nicola for our first comparison of the afternoon.
So, which has the bigger footprint? If you just want to make a note of these, and then we will give you the answers later on in the game, in the session. So, either drying your hands with 1 paper towel versus using a Dyson Airblade hang dryer.
So just a little information on this one. We are considering the manufacture of the paper towel. So it's from where it's come from to where it ends up in your hand. And the manufacture of things like anything we ask, and it applies to the Dyson Airblade, will be averaged out kind of over its lifespan to add to its total.
Oh,
yeah, Lizzie, do you just want to ask your question? Because I wouldn't want you to be stuck with the game. I'm not sure if you have mic privileges. If not, you can just pop it in the chat because we've got lots of our staff there to support. Oh, that's okay. I do it all the time. Usually a laughing face when I'm not supposed to be laughing at something. Fabulous. We're going to move to the next question. So if you weren't sure, just have a guess. So one of my favourites. Anybody that's been to Bananas before knows I love that ale in the pub. I usually have a nice fireside picture. Fills me with joy. So we've got a locally brewed cask ale at the pub. Oh, that's hard to say at 2 o'clock on an afternoon. Or 8 hours writing your TMA on an average efficiency laptop. And remember, we are asking which has the bigger carbon footprint, not which will bring you the most joy. Okay. So keep the mind on the carbon footprint just for now.
Oh.
And with this one, we are thinking about the device, running the device, averaging the device's manufacture over its lifetime. And the beer, of course, has to be brewed, has to be sourced, has to be shipped to your pub for it to end up in your glass. So lots to think about here. Everyone's hoping it's 2. Fabulous. And Kelly, dreams do come true.
So, which has the bigger footprint? 1 kilogram of bananas or 1 kilogram of vine cherry tomatoes, organic, UK grown in March?
So all the details should be there for you in this one. Lots of fun facts coming your way about these as well. So when we do the answers, we'll be able to give you a little bit more detail behind these. But we always include this question because it's kind of key to the game. How bad are bananas?
Absolutely.
We're going to move on. Your answers will be coming in just a moment. We're going to take a short interlude to have a look at some carbon footprints. So what is a carbon footprint? We've got a lovely, neat definition here. It's the total amount of greenhouse gas emissions released as a result of our individual actions. So it measures kind of over everything we do, how much we're kind of contributing. There are within How Bad Are Bananas kind of country averages. I think the calculator we're about to show you also shows a country average and how you compare. So that's always an interesting thing to explore. But I'm going to hand to Nicola for some more on this.
Okay, yeah, so carbon footprint discussion. So have you calculated your footprint and what did you find out? So we did share before this session through various links how you could actually calculate your own carbon footprint. I did it a while ago, so I actually redid mine this morning, and my biggest thing is actually slightly gone up over the last year, so 10.2 tonnes, which is still under the UK average. But my biggest surprise was because I'd taken one flight, so just doing one flight within Europe has put it up that little bit. So yeah.
Oh, Dom, snap. I'm also 6.7 tonnes. And I was quite surprised because, like Nicola, I've also taken flights recently to visit friends. And I thought, oh my goodness, no, because I'm going to have to publicly give out my carbon footprint and it will have gone up loads. And actually it hasn't, because I've made changes in other parts of my life. And it kind of balances out, and it's quite weird. I think when we did that group session and shared carbon footprints, you'll find that people with very, very different lifestyles actually have very similar footprints, and it's quite bizarre. But it's a useful thing to do. I think one takeaway for me was a lot of it's out of our control. I've spent most of my adult life so far living in rented properties, and I can't make changes to, solar panels on my roof or insulation. That's, under my landlord's choices. And, there are some things we can do and some things that actually that are not so easy.
Whereas for myself, I moved recently in the last 18 months to a new build, so it's an eco home, so solar panels on the roof. So obviously that's where I save. I have a ground source heat pump and everything runs on electricity in my, so I think that's where I save on my carbon footprint.
So is there a form for this? There will be some forms coming out. Yeah, I could see Lara putting it in the chat. Do contribute with some ideas about, we've got an 8.4 from Victoria, similar with a rental home. Yeah. It is really hard, and needing to drive, that is a really good point. And actually, I think that's something that's quite often missed out of climate debates. It's not the most diverse of kind of campaign groups at all. It is sadly lacking. I've just come back from a sustainability conference that was kind of between universities, and I really felt kind of diversity was lacking there too. And it is hard, and I'm autistic, so for me, I get a bit riled when I see people like, oh, it's just a small change. Like, there's no such thing to me. Like, any change is absolutely wild to me. And speaking of wild, I tried to change deodorant, and the change of smell for me was too much. So it's those, you say it's simple and easy, but for a lot of people it's not. But there are things I think we can do, and certainly if individually you feel you're maybe not making much impact, you can collectively help make some impact as well. And I would definitely recommend the society for that, finding like-minded people, sharing those ideas, and being a part of collective action in the Students' Association as well.
And one of our student volunteers on the Environmental and Sustainability Working Group, Ashley, she shares the biggest change that she found doing the carbon footprint was with laundry, washing all the clothes in a cold wash and line drying them instead of tumble drying. So that is a good, and another thing that I found out as well is when you do your dishes, if you dishwasher versus hand washing your dishes.
Yeah,
full load, because I live on my own, and then put them all in the dishwasher.
I was relieved that the dishwasher won out there. Relieved. Because I didn't want to go back to being the dishwasher. But yeah, there's lots of amazing changes, and we do have an ideas hub on the Students' Association sustainability page, so please do share your ideas there. Anything you've done that's helped your carbon footprint, any kind of changes you can recommend. I think it might be Layla that has the same pen as me. We've been having a chat about refillable rollerballs. Am I right, Layla?
Yeah.
Are you a
Is it a
girl as
pentel?
well? Huh?
Pentel.
No, mine's a lammy.
Might be a different one. But I've just moved house and I've lost it, so I'm really sad. But I think I have another one somewhere.
Yeah, it's amazing because I was throwing away so many pens from studying, and someone recommended it to me, and it's the best thing about it is it comes in all these bright colours, and I have a bright pink one, which means I don't lose it, so which I need. Food waste is huge, yeah, and it makes a real difference. Have a play around on the carbon footprint calculator. Put in a fictional person, like change a part of your footprint and see how it changes it, because it's really interesting.
Dana's just saying about being in a big house with no double glazing and being protected, so can't add solar panels. So that's, like you say, these are things that we can't change. But
there's still plenty we can, and I'd honestly explore it, because I think over the last 2 years, kind of making these connections, it's amazing how many ideas I've got from other people, particularly our amazing environmental volunteers. Absolute legends, a lot of them. Oh, an FBL link from Matthew there.
I'll have to,
this is exactly why we love the group and all the activities we do with sustainability, because we just learn so much from each other, and stuff that I didn't realise I could change and could do. I've learned from other students, and I think it's what Kaz said in the first session this morning, actually, as well. It's that being able to connect with like-minded students. It's not all about kind of the climate action and the changes you can make. Sometimes it's just being around people that, think the same as you and share the same interest as you. And you don't need to be a climate scientist. So we have people from every subject in that society at the moment, and it's a wonderful space. Lots of footprints coming in still, which is great. Really glad to see people checking out their footprints. I think it's really interesting. I definitely recommend playing around with it. It's very interesting. I know I've tried, changing myself to vegan. Like, how much difference is it going to make? And just seeing how much I can change it. I have to say, being so bad at driving, I can't pass my test really, really helps. If anybody else is in the same boat, I'm like an accidental climate hero. It's great.
I had areas as well, Nina, that I needed to improve on. I mean, like, mainly it was the fly that pushed my, and I don't cook a lot. I don't waste food because I actually only bought takeaways.
I thought you said the fly. I was like, the fly?
No, the flight.
I've got too much banana in my ear, sorry. Oh. Yes, Lara, we'd love to know any changes you've made. And if you're too shy to put them in the chat, that's okay. We've got that ideas hub. Please do add them on there. Throw them into the society. We just love to hear your ideas. I just think so much can't be helped as well. I think we had a good chat in a previous Bananas game about bins, didn't we? Because it's such a postcode lottery. I have pretty much every sort of bin going, but I know other places I've lived, they didn't have food waste. So automatically it becomes quite a challenge. Lots of footprints going on here.
Plant-based food, yeah.
Another thing you might want to explore is we've recommended the WWF Footprint Calculator. There are other calculators out there, and if you've done modules like S112, they will have probably directed you to have a look at more than one. Definitely explore around, because you'll get a different footprint on all of them because they look slightly differently at it.
Yeah, that is good, Paula. I use that as well. Too good to go. It's for anyone that doesn't know, it's an app, and towards the end of the day, you can put orders in for restaurants and shops, supermarkets, that where you can buy their surplus food.
Oh,
yeah.
There's some good apps for that.
Yeah.
What's the app called?
It's Too Good to Go, that one.
There we go.
So yeah. So,
that's the other one. That's yes. Thank you, Layla.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, and that's where it is. So yeah, it's reduced costs, so that food doesn't go to waste. So yeah.
Amazing. Lots still going on. Thanks, Jess, for that link as well. Yeah, and there is only so much you can do as an individual as well. And I think people find it quite stressful sometimes, this being put on us as individuals. But I think kind of the approach we've tried to take here is that it's a bit promoting individual, but also understanding that the OU can do a lot and we're encouraging them to, and certainly all big companies can certainly have a lot more influence than an individual. Oh, bookmarking instead of using search engines.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really good one. Really good one.
We've been learning about in the sustainability group as well, a search engine that's kind of supports tree planting and various environmentally friendly activity. It's Ecosia, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Really recommend giving that an explore as well. But there's loads out there. This is a perfect procrastination hole you can go down. So enjoy that one.
The link is in the chat for Ecosia, so yeah, absolutely check it out.
I'd never heard of it until, was it last week?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. Food is a really interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one to play around with, actually. And food waste is massive, like more kind of impact than I ever expected, I think.
First asking, how does the search engine cause the issues?
So every Google search has a small footprint. I cannot remember the exact footprint of a Google search. It is in the How Bad Are Bananas book, and I'll try and pop it on my Twitter later when I look it up. But yeah, not printing module materials. You know, this is an interesting one, and I was going to talk about this in the opening session. Like, we've done a lot of work with the warehouse, and some people seem to be dead set on these online modules, but how do we know that the students on the online modules aren't just printing the entire online module? Because our warehouse is actually using responsibly sourced materials, using lots of recycled materials. The books that you are sent are recycled, and they can be recycled as well. Lots of students don't realise this. So at the moment, they've got these lovely shiny covers on them, or not so lovely, as the case may be. But if you give them a tear off, you can recycle the book that's inside. I know lots of you are like horrified right now because you treasure them and you're keeping that little stack for your end of degree photo, and that's fine. I'm not saying go throw your books away, but for some people who have limited storage space and they want to kind of get rid of their materials, we do have a kind of unofficial Facebook group as well we signpost to.
Not for everyone else.
Where you can
That's
share books
for you, but not for everyone else.
No, but if I
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Pete,
Sorry, I thought you were talking. thought it was about the recycling. But yeah, I know. I treasure mine, but I'm on mostly online modules. But it's worth knowing for some people who might might want to recycle them. That choice is there. But yeah. Fabulous. So I think we're going to keep moving from here because you're dying to know those bananas answers to see how you've done, I'm sure. So it is time for the How Bad Are Bananas answers. And over to Nicola for question number 1.
So we asked, which has a bigger footprint, drying your hands with one paper towel or the Dyson Airblade hang dryer? And one paper towel is 10 grams of CO2 equivalent compared to 2 grams of CO2 equivalent for the Dyson Airblade hang dryer. So yeah, using one paper towel to dry your hands has a bigger footprint.
I think the key with this is actually that it's cold air in an Airblade.
Yeah.
So if you have a standard electric dryer, that would be 11 grams, so more than the one paper towel. But of course, if you use more than one paper towel, you are already going to push yourself over what a standard electric dryer is. So we have got a fun comparison on this, which those of you that were plugging hoping that the beer was the small footprint might like this fun fact.
Yeah, so if you use office toilets 6 times per day, your hang drying could produce 3 to 24 kilograms per year. That's the equivalent of a veggie takeaway for 4 people or around 18 bottles of wine. So yeah, that was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. There's some very interesting comparisons. You could honestly spend weeks on this book. It's amazing. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would as well.
Okay, so question 2. I'm really sorry. But right, hear me out. You probably spend more than 8 hours on some TMAs. So the beer the beer may still be okay here. But yeah, it has quite a big footprint. Unfortunately, brewing is quite energy intensive. It's not great. And obviously the transport and all sorts involved. Yeah, it makes the beer the bad guy here. But laptops are quite an interesting one. And I saw people talking about different laptop brands, and this is definitely worth reading into as well. But another interesting thing with the laptops is 83% of a laptop's footprint is actually from the manufacturer of the laptop. So electricity use on your laptop over its lifetime only contributes to about 2%. So it's the manufacturer and the sourcing of the materials in your laptop that are making up most of its footprint. But I have found out all the things that you could spend your time on instead of 8 hours on a TMA. So for 256 grams of carbon, I've got you a little shopping list. You could have an hour and a half watching TV instead, or you could take a shower. You could iron 18 shirts, sorry. You could make 3.5 cups of tea with cow's milk. You could send 15 long emails. And I'm told that the carbon footprint is actually cancelled if you email them to Gareth Jones at the Students' Association. And you could cycle 51 miles by electric bike to get away from your TMA. And that all has the same footprint as the 256 grams there. Unfortunately, and I did try my best on this for you, there's been no calculations as yet into the carbon footprint of cleaning an oven. So I know this is a favourite activity of many students around the time of their EMA, and it's something I'm tempted to write to Mike Berners-Lee and ask him to do the maths on this, because I know it's very important to students. If he comes back with an answer, I shall let you know.
And then the fun one, the one that we always do, which has a bigger footprint. So 1 kilogram of bananas has 0.67 kilograms CO2 equivalent compared to 28.2 kilograms of CO2 equivalent for the 1 kilogram of vine cherry tomatoes, organic and grown in the UK in March. That's an interesting.
Yeah, turn it in and submission. This is actually, just before it goes out of my head that I've read that. It's a really interesting thing. The OU hasn't actually done any firm calculations on the carbon footprint of our online studies. So at other universities, they have done a lot of significant footprinting on students travelling to campus, studying at their campus buildings, eating at their on-site places. But we can't really do that. We have our postgrads here in Milton Keynes, but there's few of them compared to other universities. So our footprint and activity, we haven't gone into that digital footprint. And it's a very interesting one. Even in terms of online modules versus printed materials, the maths has not been done. They're very keen to do it, but I think it's just such a complicated thing. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
So what got 2 out of 3? And just to give you some facts around why a banana is so good. They're grown in natural sunlight with no hot housing required. They keep well, so although they are often grown thousands of miles from the end consumer, they are transported by boat, which is about 1% the carbon footprint of air freight. There is hardly any packaging, because they provide their own, but supermarkets sometimes feel they must put bananas in plastic bags to stop customers ruining them if they split a bunch, so the bag can be worth it in preventing waste. Oh yeah.
Which blew my mind a bit, because I thought the plastic banana bags, they were going to have it in for them, but
yes,
absolutely not. Because see, lots of 2 out of 3s. We've got some experts in the room, and yeah, they do catch you out. And like we said, we had some actual OU climate scientists with us when we did our bananas training, and they got things wrong. In fact, they misled us on one, didn't they? We were in a team, and one of them was dead set it was something, and it wasn't. So you can't possibly know everything there is to know about carbon footprint, but do explore the book. It's really very interesting.
We'll definitely be doing some more of these.
Definitely, yeah. And you'll be pleased to know our incoming sustainability representative, new for the 2024 term. I've just been doing this as an extra on my role, and it became so big that I asked for it to be a separate role. But our incoming sustainability representative, who is here with us this weekend, is a bit of a banana fan. So I was pleased to hear that. So firmly handing over the baton, maybe not the hat, because I quite like it. And I'm going to have to be persuaded to take it off before the Chris Packham session. And not greet him in the banana. But yeah, green packaging is really interesting, and actually I think it's online, and if it's not online yet, I apologize, but we did a session for was it Earth Day? It was Earth Day. For Earth Day we did a session on plastic use, and it was one of our panel events, and I think it's available on YouTube, so if you missed it, definitely catch up on it, because one of the academics was actually involved in the plastic bag tax introduction, so he had lots of interesting things to say. But I think the key takeaway was paper's not that great. The paper bags actually carry quite a significant footprint, and we were all quite surprised by it. So definitely check out that session, and it should be on YouTube. It is amazing. All of our panel events are on there, so if you missed any of them, do check them out, because they're fascinating. And we've got some more academics on our wish list. I mean, the thing I was surprised at that session was the eco bricks, because he went into that, and we'd had a discussion around this, and it's not as great as you might think. So if you've not heard of eco bricks, they're like people gather their plastic waste and they turn them into like a compacted kind of pile of plastic that can be used as a building material. They turn out to be not as positive as we were thinking they were. So yeah, lots of surprises in that talk, and I think
absolutely, with
really good event.
Catching up on it if you've not seen it.
Definitely. And there are lots of ways to stay involved. So I can see Lara has just added our wonderful website. Please do add your ideas, do check it out. Keep an eye on the newsletter and the events page as well. join the society. So much to be involved with. I'm going to move to the next slide because we have some things here. So carbon literacy training, you've probably, I've seen that. Because it pops up every now and again. The university has been delivering free carbon literacy training for quite a while now. I'd really recommend it. You get a lovely certificate, a beautiful digital badge to add to your CV. But it's a fantastic session. You get to meet some students and staff online, talk about carbon footprint, learn some things about carbon literacy and come up with a pledge. But it's all guided. You don't have to have any expertise at all in the area. Really fantastic opportunity. They run them kind of periodically throughout the year. If you're very, very lucky, Nicola might be your trainer, but only if you're very lucky.
Yes, because we've been trained, but we've both done the carbon literacy training. Obviously, we've done the Albert Bananas training, and we have been carbon literacy facilitator training, so I can actually run the training sessions. So yeah. And
we don't need to mention the society because Layla gave us the most perfect introduction, so thank you so much for popping along today, Layla. I really look forward to watching the society grow over the next few years. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, so you're gonna have to wear the hat for the carbon literacy. I can't take you seriously in it though. That's
yeah. Yeah, it might be a bit of a problem to keep people focused if I've got this on.
Yeah.
Training.
Oh, alumni members, I'm going to hand that one to Lara in the chat, possibly, because I think societies you can have some involvement with, but I don't want to give incorrect information. Lara works on our community team and she knows much better than me.
I can actually let you know that the constitution for the OU Environmental Sustainability Society, we welcome staff, current students, alumni. So yeah, so absolutely.
Yeah. Fabulous. And we've got a Padlet. It's in the chat. We love a bit of Padlet because actually everything we've done in this working group has come from the students. We wanted it to be really student-led. So we asked the students what they wanted to see from us, and we made the student ideas into our action plan. We've gone back to the students multiple times, and I just want to say a big thank you to anyone in the room that's attended any of those sessions. We really appreciate all the feedback that you've given us, because actually it makes a massive difference, because when we're sat in those university meetings as representatives, we can say, this is what the students are concerned about. This is what the students want to see. And we are listened to, and it does make them change their minds on things. So as much feedback as you can give us of what you want to see, not only from us, but from the university, it's just so valuable, because we have just driven it through student voice the entire way. And I know Jethro, our new sustainability representative, is keen to keep it that way as well. We just want to keep students involved all the way. I'm going to be really cheeky to the moderators in the chat. The university has a sustainability page as well, which is worth checking out. So if you have any questions about what the university is doing for sustainability, that's a really good place to go. And from there, you can also find their LinkedIn group, which is a fantastic space to be in, and any opportunities that the university is offering their side. We work very closely with them, so anything key, we will always try and advertise our side. But thank you so much. Oh, look at that. Both of them at the same time.
Yeah. And just check out things on the Environmental Sustainability Society. Add your ideas to the Padlet. I did see one idea about beach cleans, which I think is a really, really great idea. So just keep them coming, and we'll see what we can do.
I'd like a day at the seaside.
Well, yeah, me too. So, maybe even dress like this.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if the weather's like today,
then yeah,
this is serving as a very good umbrella here in Milton Keynes. So yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, you have a messy beach, Kelly. Oh, and
right.
You're near me.
Right,
I will come and visit.
Okay, yeah, I think some trips coming up. But it's been absolutely fantastic to have you all with us. And really engaged session. So
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
all your contributions in the chat as well, being brave and sharing those carbon footprints as well. And I just hope that you've managed to get a little something out of it, or learn a little something, or just have a good laugh at me and Nicola sat in silly hats. If that's the takeaway, I'm cool with that as well. Thank you so much as well for attending conference. It's fantastic to have so many students here. It was my first taste, actually. Conference was what got me involved. You can get sucked in.
Yes.
You can.
Mine as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We had Brian Cox on conference. Was it
2020?
4 years ago?
Yeah, 2020.
Where's time going?
Yeah.
And ever since, I've just got more and more involved.
Yeah.
So, and I think conference hooked you, did it?
Yes. I actually, the last in person before the pandemic, 2018. And it even started me studying. So yeah. But yeah, and I've just gone, more and more involved with the association.
Yeah, do enjoy the Bananas book. Honestly, I love it. I have it on my Kindle, and just occasionally it's like a nice little break. You can kind of dip in and out of it and look things up as well, which I love because I've not got a great attention span. So it's lovely to be able to kind of drop in and out. But yes, we are looking forward to Chris next. I'm going to go and neck a cup of tea after that. I have the voice power to get through it, I think. But yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Right.